Clearing off that snow, what ordinances are in place to keep Madison residents safe? Plus, looking at Wisconsin gun laws, the state lawmakers weighing in on the debate over stricter legislation and detecting threats to the public, how the Abundant Life school shooting is impacting the Wisconsin Department of Justice. It's all ahead on News 3 now at 10. The alert day conditions will stick with southern Wisconsin overnight. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington joins us from the weather patio for when we could see the snow stop falling. Alex.
Yeah, that's all right, Eric. We've got definitely a couple more hours of alert day conditions lasting through at least 6 a.m., 10 a.m. to call it fully safe. Here at the studio, though, we had exactly up to this point just about 4 inches, about 3.8 inches if we measure in a couple of different spots. So pretty close to 4 inches here, but there's been widespread reports of 4, 5, 6, 7, even some 8 and 9 inch snowfall reports across southern Wisconsin. Let's dive right into that and take a look first. Our advisories and warnings until 3 a.m. Winter weather advisory in southwest Wisconsin, 6 a.m. Madison, noon over towards Milwaukee with that winter storm warning still to the north. Here, as we look through our first warned weather cams, still snowing in Madison right now. We have some reduced visibilities, and we see that on radar 3000 blue across Dane County. Not as heavy, certainly not as heavy as it was earlier this evening. Our live Dodgeville cam here showing not reduced visibilities, but we do have snow-covered roads out there over by the Upland Hill sky cam. And then as we go down 151 from Dodgeville over to Platteville, where we did have some snow today, but significantly less snow, you still see just a little bit of what looks like some reduction in visibilities, but overall snowfall amounts in southwest Wisconsin have gone down significantly. As we look at radar 3000 as a whole across all of southern Wisconsin, snow from Madison delves off towards the south and towards the east, but we do have a little bit more to go. Putting future trek into motion, a disturbance coming down from the north will team up with this weather system for a little bit more snow across southern Wisconsin yet tonight. 1, maybe 2 inches of snow, especially from, let's say, Richland Center, Camp Douglas, to the east over towards Milwaukee. A little lake effect enhancement, maybe an isolated 3-inch amount. When everything completes and tracking the final end of the snow, and also the winds will ramp up a little bit tonight. When the winds will settle down, we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. And as the first big snowfall is rolling in of the season, the city of Madison giving us a few reminders on how to keep our neighbors safe and avoid some fines this winter. If you have a sidewalk on your property, remember you are responsible for keeping it clear of snow and ice. If you don't, you could be looking at a fine of more than $100. Plus, you could be putting your neighbors at risk.
It's super important to make sure that our walkways are clear for those people who are, maybe using the sidewalks to get to work, run errands, or get to a bus stop, especially considering those who may be using wheelchairs or walkers. It's super tough for them in these conditions if the sidewalks aren't clear.
So you have until noon the day after the snow stops falling to make sure your sidewalk is clear. You can also face fines for over-salting, and the city of Madison has sand bins placed around the city for your use. The teacher killed in the Abundant Life school shooting has now been identified by the Dane County Medical Examiner's Office, 42-year-old Erin Michelle West of DeForest. West worked as a teacher at Abundant Life for 4 years. Students who knew her describe her as always being positive. A funeral services for West will be held on Monday at noon at Doxa Church in Madison. There is a growing memorial at the Abundant Life school site as the community begins to heal from Monday's tragedy. 2 crosses from Hearts of Mercy and Compassion represent student Ruby Vergara and teacher Erin West, who lost their lives, and give people a place to write some messages to them. While volunteers are there to help people pray, the Billy Graham Evangelical Rapid Response Team says it often travels to schools that have experienced gun violence.
When I got here Monday night and immediately met with the pastoral staff, and we are just so amazed by the love of the faculty, the love of the members of the congregation.
There are church services like at the neighboring City Church for anyone who needs an ear to listen to them. Ruby Vergara's funeral will be on Saturday. As we mentioned, Erin West's will be on Monday. The FBI detained a California man allegedly in connection with Monday's shooting at Abundant Life. Our Maddie Heimsch has more information on how both California and Wisconsin firearm laws are affecting the case.
Authorities say the 15-year-old shooter was in contact with a 20-year-old California man. That man was required to turn over his guns on Tuesday night as a result of California's gun violence restraining order, or red flag law. Wisconsin has no such law.
Our laws in Wisconsin are far too lax when it comes to access of guns by children. I do believe that we should have safe storage laws. We should have background checks. We should have red flag bills.
Dane County Executive Melissa Agard says a change in Wisconsin legislature could help prevent shootings like the one that killed 2 and injured 6 on Monday. But not just Wisconsin legislature.
This is a conversation that needs to happen from coast to coast. We need partners in our federal government to also address this, because states have borders and people can cross them.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says he isn't sure if stricter laws are a priority this next session.
It's already illegal to possess a gun on a school, so we can't make it doubly illegal. It's already difficult to be able to get a weapon, especially if you're a young child. You can't get one. So I don't know if more laws are the answer.
Anthony Cooper Sr. is the CEO and founder of Focused Interruption, an organization aimed to prevent gun violence.
A bullet doesn't have a name on it. And the fact that when those things happen, everyone is affected.
Cooper says whether state law allows authorities to take someone's guns or not, honest conversations and safer use can help.
Having safe conversations about guns inside of the home, getting the parents involved in those conversations, talking to the kids about firearms and things of that nature as well. Because, as we all know, there's no coming back once someone is killed.
We don't currently know the motive behind Monday's shooting. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes says the department's top priority is identifying that motive, which he believes is a combination of factors.
Maddie, thank you. And as law enforcement officials are trying to piece together a motive for the shooting, a state agency here in Wisconsin helps monitor online activity for potential threats. Our political reporter Will Keneally has the details.
Yeah, Wisconsin actually has its own intelligence service housed within the State Department of Justice. Now, it was founded in the wake of 9/11, as Attorney General Josh Kaul describes.
The Wisconsin Statewide Intelligence Center that is run through our Division of Criminal Investigation.
That's kind of like the Wisconsin version of the FBI. Kaul says the intelligence service helps bridge information coming from federal, state, and local law enforcement.
So if there's social media chatter or there's other information, they may identify that. But what information they receive or don't receive just depends on the circumstances of any individual case.
That brings us to Monday. Were there any signs that could have stopped the shooting? Was there any chatter leading up to the shooting that you're aware of?
I'm not aware of any information that law enforcement had prior to this that indicated they could act. But again, the investigation's being led by Madison PD, so that's the agency that can speak to the details on this.
But the intelligence service could help piece together a motive later. And Kaul tells us that the DOJ has been on the ground in Madison providing victim assistance.
Our Office of School Safety has been working with Abundant Life to support teachers as they both deal with trauma, but also prepare to support students as they return to school.
Now, that Office of School Safety will have its budget debated next year. Lawmakers tell us, though, that they are open to funding it. Reporting from the state capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Next at 10, the Wisconsin Executive Residence is highlighting Alzheimer's awareness through the Gift of Hope exhibit. The display was created by the Alzheimer's Association of Wisconsin and features a purple-themed room to symbolize hope. That room also displays handcrafted ornaments from tribal, Hmong, Black American, and Hispanic communities. Visitors can explore interactive displays showcasing over 30 Alzheimer's research trials and the 12 milestones of Alzheimer's research. Those who put on the event want to remind all that the holidays can be especially tough for those battling the disease.
The holidays can be a challenging time for people with Alzheimer's and their caregivers, and so we always encourage creating a calm environment, reducing noise, sticking to familiar routines. And I just want to say that our 24/7 helpline is always available for support and resources.
The Wisconsin Executive Residence has provided a dementia-friendly space that supports individuals and caregivers. Attendees are also asked to see the Trial Match service, which is a free service that connects people to Alzheimer's research. This wintry weather didn't stop some holiday shoppers from getting their final trips in, no matter who you're shopping for or what you're buying. The Hilldale marketing director says a crowd is typical around the holidays with or without the snow, but if you're going out for the holidays, shoppers say it's important to be prepared.
Have a game plan before you go, especially when it's coming down like this and it's cold for me, because I just want to get from store to store. So
I just am going to be super careful and take my time and go slow and go the roads that I know are probably the safest. So
the DOT says drivers should buckle up, allow extra time to travel during these winter conditions. And when we come back, Alex will tell us about when the snow will stop falling and negotiating a new deal The split being seen among lawmakers over government spending. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
The House of Representatives votes against a new plan from Republican leadership to avert a government shutdown. The vote came a day after President-elect Donald Trump helped bring down a bipartisan deal. Natalie Brand reports from Washington as the countdown to a shutdown continues.
The bill is not passed.
The latest Republican plan to temporarily fund the government and avoid a looming shutdown failed on the House floor.
The Democrats just voted to shut down the government, even though we had a clean CR, because they didn't want to give the president negotiating leverage.
There's a very simple way out of this, and it's the only way out of this, which is to go back to the original agreement that was hammered out over many weeks of painstaking bipartisan negotiation.
But Speaker Mike Johnson expressed optimism a deal could still be reached.
The only difference on this legislation was that we would push the debt ceiling to January of 2027. We will regroup and we will come up with another solution.
Thursday's offer came the day after President-elect Donald Trump torpedoed a bipartisan agreement along with billionaire Elon Musk.
We reached an agreement. We came to modest achievements. And a tweet changed all of it?
Throughout the day, Democrats and Republicans pointed fingers over who would be to blame if a shutdown hits at midnight Friday.
The Musk-Johnson proposal is not serious. It's laughable. Extreme MAGA Republicans are driving us to a government shutdown.
The deal on the table will keep the government open for the American people, and if you guys so choose to shut it down, It will be on you, but not the Republican Party.
The new GOP measure released Thursday would salvage portions of the deal that collapsed Wednesday, including a 3-month extension of government funding through mid-March, more than $100 billion in disaster aid, and $10 billion in assistance for farmers. But it added a 2-year increase in the debt limit through January 2027, a key demand of President-elect Donald Trump, who on Truth Social touted success in Washington. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
The Office of Management and Budget is scheduled to call with federal agency leaders to discuss potential shutdown preparedness. Congress has been unable to pass a spending bill outright since the fiscal year back in 1997. They have been passing simply ever since what's called a continuing resolution. Well, the U.S. economy grew at an even faster pace this summer than previously reported. The Commerce Department's final estimate found all goods and services produced in the economy rose at an annualized rate of 3.1% in the third quarter. That is up from the previous estimate of 2.8%. The revised gross domestic product figure factored in stronger consumer spending and higher exports. Consumer spending accounts for 70% of the U.S. economy. First-time filings for unemployment dropped last week after a spike in late November. That's according to a report from the U.S. Labor Department. There were an estimated 220,000 initial jobless claims filed during the week ending December 14th. It's a drop of 22,000 from the week before. Economists said the drop was expected. They pointed to seasonal volatility as the reason for that previous jump in first-time jobless claims. Thousands of Amazon workers are hitting the picket lines at the height of the holiday shipping season. Workers in New York City, Illinois, parts of California, and Atlanta walked off the job early this morning, demanding better pay and working conditions. The Teamsters Union representing the workers says Amazon has been unwilling to negotiate. But in a statement, Amazon says the Teamsters claim to represent, quote, thousands of Amazon employees and drivers. They don't.
This is a fairly isolated set of incidents relative to Amazon's larger network. And in many instances, Amazon has the same product at multiple fulfillment centers around certain geographic markets. So even if that item is not coming from facility 1 that's on strike, it may be at facility 3 or 4.
Amazon adds, quote, the Teamsters have actively threatened, intimidated, and attempted to coerce Amazon employees, which is illegal, end quote. The Teamsters represent only about 1% of Amazon's hourly workforce. We're less than a week away now from Christmas. Holiday shipping deadlines are fast approaching. The U.S. Postal Service's cutoff date for ground shipping has already passed, but for USPS Priority Mail Express, you have until Saturday. Today was the deadline for UPS, but you have until Monday for next day air. And FedEx is offering same-day shipping as late as Christmas Eve, but it does come, of course, at an extra price. The world-famous Times Square New Year's Eve ball is getting special treatment ahead of the celebration. For the first time, New Yorkers and visitors from around the world got to help change out the roughly 700 Waterford crystal triangles adorning the ball and take home the old ones. Those crystals are being replaced with newly designed triangles for 2025, featuring a long post with a crystal at the top and 3 pairs of interlocking rings symbolizing unity and enduring love.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and experience, and it's a piece of history that I get to take home with me.
When you come to Times Square, people are looking for things to do. This is going to be a must-do.
The Times Square New Year's Eve ball weighs over 11,000 pounds and is adorned with more than 2,600 Waterford crystal triangles. One Times Square plans to offer Thursday's Crystal VIP experience to guests beginning next year. Alert day conditions should continue through at least the morning hours. Alex rejoins us. Snow totals and how it'll affect the morning commute, Alex.
I got all those answers. The morning commute, yes, will be impacted. Overall snow totals, the range across all of southern Wisconsin, 2 to 8 inches. Some places have had a little bit more than that already, with those travel impacts continuing at least until the mid-morning hours on Friday. That time approximately 10 a.m. Right now, radar 3000 showing light snow across a good portion of Dane County, Waunakee, Madison, Fitchburg, over towards Stoughton and Cottage Grove. West on 14 over towards Cross Plains, maybe just a few flurries. But as we widen things out here, it has the look here that the snow is just about ready to end across all of southern Wisconsin, stretching here the back edge of this near the Dells over towards Sauk City and then south towards Monroe. but we do expect a little bit more snow tonight, and Future Track will help show that here. As a disturbance comes in from the northwest, meeting up with our weather system, we do expect that snow to fill back in over a good portion of southern Wisconsin during that 2, 3, 4 o'clock time frame, lasting to about 5 or 6. Then those flurries and leftover snow showers move towards the south and east once we get past 6 o'clock. But the roads are still going to have some snow-packed roads. Those back roads are not going to be very good at 6 o'clock in the morning. So those continuation of the impacts will continue at least till 10 o'clock in the morning. And then we may actually break in to a bit of sunshine. Again, additional snowfall across southern Wisconsin, maybe an isolated 2-inch amount, maybe an isolated 3-inch amount over towards Lake Michigan, where we do expect a little bit of lake enhancement as you get winds off of Lake Michigan. The waters are warmer, and that enhances the snowfall rates just a little bit. Here's what we've had so far, Horicon 9.1 inches, Loganville 7.0 inches, Columbus at 6.5, Plain at 6, Dodgeville at 5, and where I meant to say 4, we've had about 4 inches here at the studios at WISC. Now, our overall total amounts, when all is said and done here, the overall projection we did yesterday, 3 to 6 inches. Madison, 6 to 9 to the north, give or take an inch here. We did pretty good here with this clipper system in the overall projection here, with the lesser amounts significantly less down towards Platteville and down towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Set in first weather, the winds, they're going to be still gusty Friday morning, perhaps as much as 30 miles per hour. Eventually, as we get towards the lunch hour, a little bit less to the northwest, we'll start to see those winds really start to ease up as we head towards 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So still a little bit of blowing and drifting of snow, with those greatest travel impacts lasting through 6 to 10 a.m. on Friday. Then we expect those conditions to improve as we go through the rest of Friday afternoon going into Friday evening. Until then, winter weather advisories in southwest Wisconsin till 3 a.m., 6 a.m. in Madison, and noon over towards Milwaukee. And then as we head towards the holiday, I think we're going to have a white Christmas, even though temperatures moderate just a little bit.
And coming up in sports, closing in on the playoffs, what the Packers have to do to clinch a spot in the postseason. That's next on News 3 Now. And they're in. It's that simple. With 3 games left to play in the regular season, the Packers need just 1 win to clinch a spot in the playoffs. Their first chance is Monday night when a banged-up Saints team comes to Titletown. And it's nice not having that pressure of needing to win every game down the stretch to play in the postseason like they did last season.
Obviously, still got to win, and you know, I would talk about it all the time. You know, take it 1 week at a time. But definitely is a better position than having to try and win every game and fighting for that last position, not knowing what might happen. So, you know, I think we did a better job this season, winning some games early on and putting ourselves in a better position. But we still got to go finish the season off the right way.
We've seen how Wisconsin celebrated after taking home the Greenbrier Tip-Off Championship, dousing water on Greg Gard. But the Indy Classic, well, the Badgers took their locker room celebration up a notch or two. After his post-game press conference, Gard walked right into a poster dunk by none other than his son Isaac. And the dunk on Dad was the only way this group wanted to celebrate their first win in December.
The tournament had gave us like a souvenir little hoop, and what else would you do than dunk on your coach with his kids? So you said, IG, get a ball, get ready.
We felt like that was right. We felt like anyone else wouldn't have been as good. So to see Isaac do that to his dad, it was good to see.
It was short notice, and Coach G walked in kind of fast, so IG got up quick and went off 2 and dunked it with 1. Maybe could have lobbed it for him, but that's for the next time.
And just a reminder to check out this week's Wisconsin Huddle with John Blackwell. Show airs at 6:30 tomorrow right here on News 3 Now. Well, don't look now, but Wisconsin women's basketball is on the up and up. The Badgers are currently 9-2 on the year. That's their best start since the 2009-2010 season. So they're feeling pretty good about themselves, as they should. But there's no time to get complacent. The Badgers want bigger and better things than just a hot start. Good thing Marissa Mosley is there to keep her team grounded.
This is great. We're doing things that haven't been done in a long time, but this isn't why we're doing this, and we're not satisfied. And they're fortunate they have me telling them, like, hey, like, it's great. However, this isn't what we need to stay hungry. We need to continue to strive for more and for excellence.
And we're back after this.
Well, if he's going to be the guy running everything, I'm going to have to work on my Elon Musk impression.
For There's Only with Edward Norton, CBS Tonight.
So the snow's still falling. How much longer? How much more? And it's going to be a little tricky on the morning rush.
Definitely give yourself a little extra time tomorrow morning. We have about another 1, maybe 2 inches of snow to get through tonight. More is expected to develop across a good portion of southern Wisconsin, especially from Madison and areas off to the east over towards Lake Michigan. If you have any travel towards Milwaukee, they could have an isolated 3-inch amount yet. Total accumulations from the least to the most, 2 to 8 inches across southern Wisconsin. Alert day conditions through at least 10 a.m. expected Friday morning. Now, on the brighter side of things, got some nice pictures today. You're welcome to scan the QR code and send those pictures to us. We'll show them tomorrow.
A lot of good pictures. Be safe out there, folks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10. We hope you have a great night.